Hey, I'm Rin. Welcome to my channel. So we are going to be building Tingyun today. Not sure how this is going to go, but I have hope, I guess. I'm not going to lie, I don't really know much about Tingyun as a character. I thought the twist about her was really fun, pun possibly intended, but I didn't really find any reason to look into her more than that at the end of the quest. Even with the release of her 5-star version, I don't know. I guess she didn't really intrigue me as much as I thought she would. I'm not saying she's a bad character, by the way. I think she has a really interesting story going on for her, and Fugue is genuinely the prettiest character out there. But at the same time, I just never had a reason to look into her or read about her as much as other characters have. Still, if need be, I'm willing to learn more about her, and honestly, she gave me a lot to work with when building her. I did take a few liberties here and there, but honestly, she gave me an idea and I thought it would be quite fun to play with it in D&D. Now let's not delay any longer, here's what I have for her. So I was really disappointed to find out that there isn't an official fox race for D&D. I guess they didn't think it was necessary to make one, since the homebrew race for Kitsune is so popular. But at the same time, I try to avoid homebrew as much as possible to avoid any issues, such as when I avoid Unearth Arcana builds. So I thought about another way around it. Why not just simply reflavor the Tabaxi race into having more fox-like traits? I mean, Foxians are known for being agile and perceptive, aren't they? You have claws for your unarmed strikes, dark vision, proficiency in stealth and perception, and it's pretty good for the most part. I don't really see any reason to not go with it. As for her class, well, I kind of thought about what Tingyun does in the story quest. We see that she doesn't really fight, she just lingers a lot in the back until she's needed for one reason or another. It makes sense too, since she's not known for being a fighter. She would rather just be a representative for the most part. She isn't really a soldier or a fighter character in any of her incarnations, so I went with the least confrontational class out there for the most part, Bard. Specifically, College of Eloquence. After all, she's known for speaking well with people. Now, what does this class actually do? Well, it means instead of fighting, you are buffing and debuffing your enemies in and outside of combat. Your persuasion and deception rolls can no longer be lower than 10, which is lovely for a bard character. You can cause your enemies to doubt themselves to the point that you can subtract from their saving throws using your bardic inspiration. You can also allow your allies to keep any bardic inspiration die they've already used. And your speech is intelligible to any creature or person you choose for the next 1 hour if you use the skill. Who needs to comprehend language anyway? You also get some expertise, which I'll bring up in her proficiencies later. For ability scores, of course, her charisma needs to be her highest as an amicassador for the Skyfaring Commission and as a bard. Then I'd put points into her intelligence, then dexterity, and then her constitution, wisdom, and then strength will have to be her dump stat. By the way, as a tabaxi, you also get to put a few points into whatever you please. I personally added to her charisma and constitution, but that's just me. Choose whatever you see right by you. For background, I couldn't find anything that fitted her perfectly, but I did end up going with failed merchant for storytelling reasons. She doesn't actually have to be a failed merchant because her business failed. Why not write it as more of a different reason? For feats, I decided to go with Silver-Tongued. It adds to her charisma score and adds proficiency to deception as well. You can also use your attack action to deceive your opponent into a deception and insight check, which, if they fail, causes you to no longer provoke opportunity attacks from them in that round, and you have advantage on an attack against them in that round as well. Of course, if you fail, you can't deceive them again for 1 hour. Moving on, for languages, I picked the ones I felt would make the best sense for a character who once worked with the trading business. I went with Dwarvish and Undercommon respectively for trading in fine materials and in any items that are hard for the common folk to find. A good mix to help out the people she may have been working with. As for her proficiencies, you have whatever instrument you want her to use as a bard, as well as a tool proficiency that would come with her background as a failed merchant. You guys can pick out whatever you like for her. I personally went with weaving tools because, I don't know, I think I saw the golden threads and clouds in her ultimate and couldn't think of anything else. For her skill proficiencies though, I went with performance and intimidation from her work with entertaining business delegates for the Luo Fu. That and, yeah, I also gave her history since I think she would have learned a lot about the Luo Fu's history to explain to guests of any kind that she would be working with. I also gave her expertise in persuasion and investigation, one because it's her job to persuade people, and another because of the doggo thing that happened during the quest. Anyway, we have her spells now, and the ones that I picked out for her. These are just my recommendations and what I think would work on her. First up, Vicious Mockery, because it's an offensive cantrip, and I felt like it suited her. Well, at least the 4-star version of her. I know it's not really her for the most part, but I can't deny it kinda works. I also gave her Avoid Grievous Injury because of how all enemies gravitate towards attacking her. I think she'd literally have that spell just so she doesn't get killed in one go. I also gave her Charm Person and Suggestion for the same reason. She probably has these spells to help with business delegates to agree to deals more easily. I added Speak with Animals because of Deting mostly, and I also added Thunder Wave and Fire Whip as a reference to the elements of her 4-star and 5-star versions. And then I decided to be a little mean, I guess. I gave her the spell Feign Death, and I also gave her Polymorph. Don't hate me for this, but I thought it would be funny. And finally, her equipment. I would use a fan of some kind as her arcane focus, but that's really the only recommendation I can give. I don't really know what's allowed or not allowed at your table, and I really don't feel like causing trouble in case I gave something that isn't allowed. But besides that, let's move on to the story I gave her. I leaned a little into the happenings that occurred in Penacony, but I think it's pretty good. Here is what I have. There was darkness all over. She was in so much pain. She couldn't move. Why couldn't she move? She felt a hand on her forehead, and a gentle voice whispered to her. She didn't know what the other was saying, but she still felt soothed by it in an unexplainable way. That's right. She used to be a representative for a merchant's guild. She was a well-loved ambassador for her kingdom, dancing with the people, drinking tea with the owner of her favorite shop, combing the fur off her lovely tail. She remembered the morning when she was sent to greet some potential business partners for the guild and that thing. It attacked her. She tried to run. She screamed for help, but no one was there to see what had happened. She was consumed by the darkness, only able to catch a glimpse of that thing's face. It had stolen hers. Someone, please. That thing was... that monster. Why? Why did she have to be the one to suffer such a fate? Why did it attack her? You have to awaken first. You must familiarize yourself with your new body if you wish to move forward. That voice spoke again, clearer this time. Move forward? That's easy for someone to say when they haven't died before. She died that day, didn't she? How long has it been since then? She shook her head and lifted her hand up towards the endless sky above, the pure cold blue contrasting her dark, almost mahogany fur. Dancing with the people, drinking tea with her friends, her tail. How she missed the soft, gentle fur she had meticulously cared for. How dare they? How dare they take everything from her? She used to love to dazzle people for trade deals and entertain adventurers. She used to be the kingdom's finest representative. Now, though, she can't be sure who she was anymore. You don't have much time left. I was entrusted to save you by the general himself. You must awaken now, girl. The voice was sterner than before, but there was still a tinge of genuine kindness behind those words. So that's it, isn't it? I've become a pawn in a game with powerful players. she responded back, dejected. Undeniably so. But whatever you do after this is entirely of your choosing. Whether you wish to play within the game or not is up to you. She couldn't help but laugh a little at this. She looked towards the endless sky once more and took in a deep breath. If she truly had a choice in what happens next, she needed to make sure it was her own. Move forward, they told her. And so she took her first step. Through the darkness and lies, through the regret of what happened to her. She kept moving and finally, she awoke once more. And that was longer than I expected. I hope you guys like it though. I just wanted to make it in a specific way. I hope this is okay for your games. It does give a nice hook for your DM to use if they ever want to put in a horrific face-stealing creature in their games. Who am I kidding? Of course they're gonna do that. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I'm really glad you guys stuck around for this video. I'm not gonna linger too long here. If you need any information about leveling, it's in the description, so check it out if you like. Like and subscribe if you like, and I hope to see you all again. Take care.